Hello everyone, it's Jack Cotton here, #1 best-selling author of Selling Luxury Homes and luxury real estate expert, standing outside my luxurious but not overly ostentatious Cape Cod office. We're beginning our series today with the 12 deadly sins of business planning for the luxury real estate specialist. Each of these videos will be about 3 to 3.5 minutes in length. The first one, this one right now, might be a little bit longer, so bear with me and stay to the end. You know, it amazes me, because this is the time of the year when people think about planning vacations, how much time goes into planning a vacation. And I talk to people who are, choosing from all kinds of different destinations. Do I go by plane? Am I going to drive there? Which airline? Which airport? Which resort? Which hotel? Am I going to rent a condo? All these plans, and then they have to decide, what am I going to do with my house? Is someone going to check the house while I'm gone? Stop the mail, stop the paper, check the heat, turn off the water, all kinds of things people do. You can spend hours planning a vacation. What amazes me, however, is that some of the same people who spend all this time planning a vacation spend zero time planning their life, planning their future, planning their business even for the next year, let alone the next month. And that brings us to deadly business plan sin #1, which is not understanding the power of goals. For a luxury real estate specialist, goal setting is critically important. Goal setting works because what we focus on becomes real. What we focus on becomes real. Last summer I was at a family function and they had a tightrope sort of stretched between two trees, and all the kids were trying to walk across the tightrope and none of them could do it. And then my nephew William got on the tightrope and he walked across. He was a little bit wobbly, but he walked across. And he told the kids, focus on the tree. Focus on the tree that the tightrope was fastened to. The tree was the goal, the tree was the destination, the tree was the objective. Focus on that and you can make it across. The kids were focusing on the ground, and the ground is becoming real to them, not the destination. What we focus on becomes real. You see, there's a little section in the back of our head called the Reticular Activating System, RAS. And there are several ways we can program the RAS. We'll talk about those in our series, but the #1 way to program the Reticular Activating System is through the power of goal setting. And that's why they say what we focus on becomes real. You know that whole syndrome about when you buy a new car, all of a sudden you see your red Volvos all over the road or black Mercedes-Benzes all over the road, and we think, that's weird, I just ordered that car, now I'm seeing them everywhere. Well, they were always there, it's just the Reticular Activating System was blocking them from getting through to your brain. But when you bought the car, you essentially programmed that section of your brain to let the vision of those cars out on the road come through. Well, when you set a goal, you allow that little sensory filter in the back of your head to allow things to come through that will help you reach your goals. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to be able to get there? So you've got to set a goal. That's going to be the most important part of your business plan. That is the first deadly sin of business planning, not understanding the power of goals. All right. Next time we'll talk about deadly sin #2. In the meantime, don't forget you can get my book at Amazon.com or jackcotton.com. And I've been talking to people from all over the country who've bought the book, answering their questions. It's been a real treat. So get the book. If you have questions, send me an email. I'll try to answer them for you. In the meantime, make it a great week.